soccer? I don't know how to play soccer. That was my response when I was asked to coach my kids' soccer team. Don't worry, I was told. Just show them the basics. It's all about learning and having fun. I was provided with a folder containing some drills and the basics on how to play soccer. That was 3 years ago, and I have been volunteering ever since. Since then, I have coached 3rd and 4th grade girls basketball and 4th and 5th grade girls softball. These are games I have not played in 17 years. Am I crazy? Why would I volunteer to help the children learn how to play soccer, a game I know nothing about? Hi, my name is Miranda Sleep, and after my speech, you will understand why volunteering is so important to youth groups. I will tell you the problems that our youth programs face today, what you can do to help, suggestions on where to go to volunteer locally, and the 10 reasons that you should volunteer. Also at the end, I have a brochure to hand out that will list some of this information along with numbers and addresses that you may find helpful to begin volunteering. This is just a peek at the brochure that I have here. Lists some telephone numbers and some addresses and some websites, and then the top 10 reasons you should volunteer on the back. So you ask, what is the problem? Without volunteers, nonprofit youth programs will not be able to continue. They are there for the public support without commercial or monetary purposes. These programs cannot afford to pay people to help with these youth activities, so they rely on volunteers to give their time to do so. I personally talked to Tracy Hurt, the Chief Volunteer Officer at the YMCA in Creston, Iowa. He said they are always looking for volunteers and that they would like to see more students coming over. The problem? The students not wanting to give up their time or not being able to commit. Did you know that according to the Corporation for National and Community Service, in their report released July of 2008, that Iowa ranks 6th with a volunteer rate of 37.3%. Now that's not bad out of 51 states, but we have dropped a couple places in the past couple of years. This chart here is from the Corporation for National and Community Service, and it just shows the number of volunteers in Iowa from 1989 to 2007. It shows the Iowa volunteer rate, which is in the blue and is matched with the United States as a whole. It shows where people volunteer in Iowa from 2005 to 2007, the total hours that were volunteered, and the main activities for Iowa volunteers. And if we look at this pie chart, we can see that sports and arts only had 3.7% of the volunteers in Iowa giving their time to that area. You may ask as a student where you would find the time to volunteer with school, work, and possibly even kids. According to www.volunteeringinamerica.gov, volunteers trade off more than 1 hour a day of just TV watching to engage in service. You may also ask how this affects you. It may not affect you right now. Many of you may not have children or children of school age anymore, but at some point you may have children or even grandchildren, and if no one volunteers to keep these current programs running, they won't be there in the future. Wouldn't it be easier to keep something going that is already in place instead of having to start from scratch? With the program already in place, items such as balls, bats, uniforms, and other necessary equipment are already purchased. All they need to be is maintained and upgraded every so often. So the solution is to volunteer. Even if it is just 2 hours a week, you don't have to coach a sport. There are a lot of options available. At www.ymca.net, they list 5 categories for their volunteers. These include program volunteers who either coach or are instructors of a program. There are support volunteers. They work at the office or the front desk. Fundraising volunteers, of course, help with raising money for events. Policy volunteers, they serve on the WISE board of directors or on committees or task forces. And there are managerial volunteers. They help to manage and administer the operations and the programs, for instance, a pro bono accountant. The YMCA takes applications and they will put you where you will likely fit into their program. You may not think so, but this will make a difference. I volunteer for the Corning Youth Club in my hometown. It was started and it is run solely on parents volunteering their time. Find someone you know that has kids. Go to the local school or see if your community has a Parks and Recreation department and ask how you can volunteer. We have people helping coach sports who do not even have children. They just have a love for the sport. By their volunteering, these programs will be able to stay in our communities and give the children something positive to do. I want you to go volunteer. 30 minutes from my hometown is the closest YMCA. And right next to it are the dorms for Southwestern Community College. They don't even need a vehicle. All they have to do is walk over, ask for an application, fill it out, and turn it in. But most importantly, they need to show up. It could be as simple as this for you. Again, ask around your hometown. Youth Little Leagues do not have professional coaches. They have volunteers. According to the website dosomething.org, the following are the top 10 reasons you should volunteer. Number 1, learn something fun about yourself. Kids may adore you, and how will you know until you volunteer? 2, have fun. Volunteer doing something that you love to do. 3, be passionate about a cause. Volunteer for something you really care about. 4, explore career possibilities. You might realize you love working with kids and you would rather be a teacher. 5, it's time to get off the couch. Don't be bored in front of the TV. Be productive. 6, learn new skills. Add to your resume. Some businesses actually look for volunteering on applications. 7, fulfill your graduation requirements. You might need volunteer hours to graduate, and you might add hours because you love it so much. 8, make someone else's day. Your extra effort to help someone else can make a world of difference to them. 9, feel good about yourself. Know you did something good and be proud of it. And 10, maybe it's just time to do something. Apathy is so boring. Now that you know the problems youth programs face today, what you can do to help, where to look for volunteer opportunities, and the top 10 reasons you should volunteer, you should know why volunteering is so important to these youth groups. You don't have to drop everything else you do just to volunteer. You would be surprised that just an hour a week is enough. There are endless possibilities to what you can do when you volunteer, and you never know. You might just find something that you like and you didn't know you loved to do, and you might just change your major. So just go volunteer.